Welcome to the Educator's Table podcast, where early childhood educators pull up a chair, get real, start conversations, and grow together.
Hello, and welcome back to the Educator's Table podcast.
We miss you so much. We have a very, very, very cool and special episode to show you guys. We're so excited to share.
Oh my gosh. So we had our official podcast launch party last week now. And it was so much fun.
It was cool.
It was a really fun night, and we had a bunch of people come from different centers. So we started the night with a friendship bracelet making station. So we had a vendor by the name of Wildflower Moon. We'll put her Instagram in the show notes. But she attended as our vendor, and she ran a little bracelet making table for us. So the educators got to choose some beads, and the idea was to make a friendship bracelet for a friend that you hadn't met yet.
Which was really cute. And in order to do that, we did a little fun speed dating thing to see who they were going to give their bracelet to by the end. Kind of like the Bachelorette with flowers, but we did bracelets. And so we had really cool reflective questions for educators to connect and get to know each other, and see who they were going to give their precious bracelet to at the end. And it was really cool.
I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. And it felt like we didn't have enough time.
I know, I could stay there all night.
All night. We just got into it, and we were just having really good conversations. And then Emily interrupted us and was it's the networking time is over. We need to move over to the next thing. And I'm like, Emily, I'm busy. I was just I just really, really enjoyed getting to know the people that were there. I just love hearing about different perspectives and everything from the different personalities that exist in our industry. It's so fun. So cool.
Yeah. So then it was time to do our podcast. We had a very special guest, Kayla from Capable Learners, and she was fantastic. You guys will see. We had a really great conversation about educator characters and inside her world of owning a day home.
Yeah. So she's a day home provider. So it's a little bit different than being in a daycare. I've done both. But it's really different because you don't get the feedback from other people. It's really just you in your corner with your kids, which honestly can feel really, really isolating. If we think that being in a daycare is isolating, being in a day home is a whole nother level.
Day home people, we see you.
We see you. And oh my gosh, mad respect for you, because you have to really show up at 100% every day. There's no one to accommodate for bad days for you. You just don't get to have them. So props to you, day home operators out there. You're amazing.
We love you.
We love you. And thank you, Kayla, for coming on. It was a really surreal experience having an audience and having people actually looking at me. I felt it was a really contagious energy. I felt like I was on the Ellen show. But I was the host.
You were Ellen, I know.
Which is so cool. It was a really fun experience. I hope we get to do something like that again.
We will.
We really wanted to live stream to TikTok and YouTube, but I was having some technical difficulties and I couldn't figure it out in time. And I was just so sad about missing part of the networking time that I just was it's fine. We're not doing it. We're just recording it and we'll post it later. So, I'm sorry if you were waiting for it to live stream. It didn't work out, but we'll figure it out for next time.
Yeah.
So then part of my technical difficulties was that Kayla's mic wasn't on. This one right here, the one that I'm holding, somehow, it didn't connect. It
broken.
Something was up. And so my wonderful, amazing superhero of a husband, Javier, flew in to save the day, and he fixed our audio for us. So thank you. You're amazing. We love you. You saved the show today.
So without further ado, presenting our very first live podcast with special guest and audience. Here it is. Enjoy.
Enjoy. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Vicky.
Hi. So today we are doing a very, very special podcast episode. We are actually live at our podcast launch party at Utopia Play Cafe. So we have a whole group of educators that have joined us today that are sitting right behind the camera. Oh my gosh, this is so cool and exciting, so surreal. This is like vision in the making kind of thing.
I'm crying on the inside.
Oh my god, I'm literally trying to cry on the outside. All right, so we have like a little bit of like content prepared for you guys that we want to share. So we're just gonna like dive right into it. So I want to start by telling a story about my favorite place in the entire world, and it's a place called Starbucks. Because I love Starbucks. It's a good place to be. And so I love going through the drive-thru on my way to drop my kids off at daycare or wherever I'm going. And there is this girl at Starbucks, and her name is Sadie. So I'm going to straight up call out Sadie. Love you, girl. So at first, I'll be honest, Sadie was a really hard person for me to accept. So I would pull up to the drive-thru, and Sadie has this like magnetic personality where she'll answer like the intercom and she'll be like, "Hello, good morning, welcome to Starbucks. What can I get for you?" And right away I'm like, oh my god, this is a lot for 8 a.m. I'm not ready for this. And it like got to a point where I was like, I don't think I can go to Starbucks in the morning anymore because I cannot speak to Sadie. I'm not ready for it. And like, I would pull up to the window and she would be smiling and like everything, and she'd be so happy. And I'm like, girlfriend, you are way too happy, for this early in the morning. I don't know what to do. And so I did get to the point where I was like, I can't do Starbucks today because I can't do Sadie. And then I thought real hard about it, and I was like, what about me doesn't like Sadie? Because she is literally sunshine in human form. What about me is like rejecting that? And so I did like an internal deep dive, and I was like, what if I met Sadie with the same amount of energy that she has? What if I did it? And so I decided to pull up to Starbucks. And Sadie said, "Hello, good morning, welcome to Starbucks." And I was like, "Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I really need coffee this morning." And Sadie was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool. What would you like?" And we had like the most high-pitched, incredible conversation I've ever had in my life. And I pulled up to the window and I was like, "Thank you so much, Sadie. I'm so happy. This has been like the best start to my day." And she was like, "I hope you have a great day." And honestly, it was a really good day. And it really just like hit me that I was like, man, the people that are in your life have such a big impact on like the rest of your day and your environment and everything. And so it made me just like think about who Sadie is as a person and the character that she portrays while she works at Starbucks. And so like in my mind, she is Sadie from Starbucks, and that is her like character. And I don't know who Sadie is when she's not on shift. I could not tell you, but in my mind, Sadie is this magical sunshine person that I am so excited to see every time. I haven't seen her the last like 3 times I've gone, and I'm so disappointed because I miss her, because she makes me so happy. And now that I've like allowed that to be just like seeped into my life, it's made like such an impact on the way that I see myself. And not only that, but like you guys all as educators too. Because like, imagine if we were all Sadie from Starbucks, how would your kids respond to you in the moment?
Really
so cool. Yeah, that's my Sadie story. Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna spill water here. Yeah, so we want to dive into the idea behind Sadie a little bit.
Yeah. We want to dive into what we like to call educator character and taking the perspective of Sadie and how she carries herself at work and what would that look like in a classroom. And so from experience, we all love licensing. We all love when they come. And we're not doing anything wrong, and we know that, and we're in compliance. But something about somebody coming into your room and watching over you and kind of giving you this pressure, it kind of makes you perform in maybe a way that you wouldn't always do. And
It's like when you're driving and the police go by and you're like 10 and 2, 10 and 2.
yeah,
Got to make sure you're doing everything properly, even though like obviously like you're driving within the law, guys, right? But as soon as the police go by, you're like absolutely perfect.
exactly. Like I feel that way about licensing. And then all of a sudden, like everybody in the entire room is like doing everything so perfectly and amazing, and all of the behaviors are going down, and the room is just flowing so nice. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like Christmas. Why can't I be like this every single day? This is perfect.
And everyone's like, it's because licensing is here.
Yeah.
Or is it because all of a sudden all of the educators were super engaged and having fun themselves and like being their best selves in front of licensing?
And so we kind of reflected on that a little bit. And we talk about the pressure of performing, which is not sustainable, but the outcome of performing is a well-run classroom. And so how do we make it all the time without burning out? This is where the educator character comes in.
Yeah. So we want to talk about what being a performative educator looks like. So being a performative educator is about intentionally changing your energy to create a different environment. So anyone who knows me knows that I have a really super close personal best friend named Taylor Swift. And so she went on a many year-long tour that was called the Eras Tour, and a lot of people watched on like TikTok and like all that. For those of us that couldn't get tickets, I know one of our educators, Erica, she got to go, and I'm so jealous, and I'll never stop being jealous of her. But anyway, so when Taylor Swift was performing in Brazil, it was really, really hot and it was really hard to breathe. And so there were TikToks that were posted of her where the lights went off and she was kind of like backstage almost, but you could still see her and you could see her entire demeanor like change. So she like all of a sudden was like like exhausted, and then suddenly the lights went on and she went and she was back and she was Taylor Swift and she was performing. And so the idea of putting on an intentional, just putting out like your best energy and your best self when you're like at work and on, it creates such a different experience for the people around you. And like, could you imagine if like the performer was like huffing and puffing on stage and like tired or like low energy or like anything like that? Like, is that a concert that you would want to attend? Like, probably not. But when they're engaged, then you're engaged. And so tying that into being an educator, and just like intentionally amplifying the things that already exist about you. So we're not talking about adding in anything new. If you don't, if you're not a very high energy person, like you can still put on a positive educator character and still connect with those kids in your own way. So we're not asking you all to be Taylor Swift and to perform on a stage. But it's just the idea of tapping into that captivating energy, no matter what level that's at for you, and then engaging with those kids in that way.
Yeah. When I think back to my childhood and teachers and characters from like cartoons that you kind of look up to, like Miss Frizzle and Miss Honey, and pulling attributes like adventure and kindness and wisdom, I want that to be me as a whole. And maybe I'm not that every day, but when I go to work, I am for the kids. That's when I need it, and that's what they need too.
Yeah. So when you think about like the people that impacted you the most in your childhood, like we think about like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, if you guys remember that. And like she said, like Miss Frizzle of like, go for adventures, get messy, get real, like all that. You pull those pieces of those characters to put outward into yourself as your educator. And so So not, again, like not every educator is going to bring the same like level of energy. There's not going to be like all Miss Frizzles in there. There has to be the Miss Rogers, Mr. Rogers, not Miss Rogers, sorry. There has to be the Mr. Rogers. There has to be like all of the other ones too. Every character that you bring is valuable, regardless of like the energy level that you can maintain. So it needs to be something, when you're thinking of like your educator character, it has to be something that can be sustainable for you. So if you're not able to keep up a high level energy, then maybe that's not your educator character. Like it's literally just who you are when other people are looking, and you feel like those eyes on you and you want to be your best self. That is the educator that we should be all of the time, even when there is no one else around, when no one else is looking, because that not only affects the kids, but it also like affects you as a person too. There's like, when nobody is looking, you could just like sit and you could check your phone and you can be disengaged and whatever. And then when someone looks at you, you can change and all that. But are you getting anything from that? Because I always say that if you're not having fun at work and you work in a daycare, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like literally, we work with kids, we play and we have fun. And if you're not having fun, then why? So now we're going to bring up our very special guest, Kayla, who runs her own day home. Come on up, Kayla. And here's your microphone.
Thank you.
Hi, Kayla. We're so happy to have you on our podcast.
Welcome. So why don't you tell us about yourself, Kayla?
I am a day home educator, and I have been operating in a day home for the last 5 years. And I have started Capable Learners that helps day home educators feel seen, heard, and valued. And I just love working with kids every day in my own home, and it's the best job ever.
I agree. I started as a day home and it was also lots of fun. So fun. So I would love to hear a story or two or however many you can think of that really like encapsulate you as your best self as an educator.
I think going back to your Sadie, when I have children arrive in the morning, I give them that Disneyland walk-up. I greet them at the door. It's a hug. It's a high five. I give them that energy. I make that connection. I get down on their level, and it just sets our day up for success because I connected with them. If they had not the greatest morning, they know they're in a safe place with me. I've made eye contact with them. We've talked, we've connected, and then they can go on with their day and play. And I think like it's the greatest feeling to give them that Disneyland welcome and excited when they arrive in the morning.
I love that. That's really fun.
So what would you say, what traits have you taken from people that have inspired you that kind of make up your character?
I think that's a lot of teachers that I had in school and how they made me feel. I wasn't always the popular, cool kid, maybe picked on and bullied a lot, but having teachers that got to know me and made that connection, made me feel seen and heard and valued, really stood out for me, which is how I want to come across, and the character that I want to have when I'm educating little ones in my life is being there for them and making that connection and letting them feel seen, heard, and valued, and that they're important as well.
Oh,
I love that. I love that. So, okay,
outside.
So so give us a little like view into your day home. Like what does that kind of look like for you? Like what kind of educator would you like consider yourself to be?
I'm definitely a relationship based program. I want to have connections with all my kids. The benefits of having a day home is that you are the one and only educator, and you're with the kids day in and day out, and you get to build those relationships. They're not changing rooms on you when they turn 1 or when they turn 4. You can have them for 3, 4, 5 years, which is really special and unique, and you get to build the best connections with these kids and their families, which is such a unique part of having a day home. And I love that side of having a day home, of building those connections with the kids, and then all the other stuff can filter in and you can do all the magic.
you really get to like walk them through their first
Life.
5 years.
Oh my gosh,
It's
that's cute.
Yeah, that is so fun. And you kind of like grow with them, and your interests change with them and all that too.
It makes it really easy to be emergent curriculum and child-led because you get to know these children so well.
Literally so intensely.
Yeah, you're spending 8-9 hours with them 5 days a week. You know that they don't like spinach. That ladybugs are the grossest thing in their world, where the next child might love them. You get to know them on a whole nother level.
Yeah. Oh my God. So during COVID was when I had my day home, and my son was doing school from home. And so one day he came down for lunch and we were serving green peppers, and I made him try them because I was like, we got to try new things. Like, you can try it. And so he tried it, and then he went back up to school and he had poetry class and he wrote a poem about how much he hates green peppers. And I was like, all right, I guess we're not serving green peppers again for you. But those are really like the pieces of your kids that you get to experience for sure. So what do you think, like, what part of being an educator comes out most naturally to you? I guess you kind of touched on the relationship part of it.
I think just making those connections with the children, but also building connections with their families, because you get to see mom and dad, or you are there when they have a new baby sister or brother, or if a pet passes away, you really are a part of their lives, which is really unique.
And also they may be the only adults you talk to that day.
Yes.
So they become your people, and like becoming friends with them is a really important part of your social life.
This is why I love Educator's Table. More adults.
Yeah.
I work by myself with 5-year-olds.
Yeah, totally. So what part of you do you think you're still growing into?
Talking to adults.
Oh,
Honestly, yeah.
you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Because I spend all day, every day with little ones, that having these adult interactions and conversations, keep the sections to small and short and simple.
Yeah, there are some times where I have to be like, I'm sorry, I don't usually talk to adults. I don't know what to say here. I'm so sorry.
I know.
I work
It's
with
like
kids.
The songs and the books are just constantly in my mind, and I'm like, Pete the cat was walking down the street in his brand new white shoes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Or you're
that's
like-
not appropriate for my like personal life.
Or you're like, excuse me, I have to go to the potty.
Yeah, just slips out.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. So we kind of want to talk, I guess, a little bit about like your educator character. So if you were to like visualize her as like maybe a cartoon or a painting or something like that, it doesn't even have to be like a human. It could be like a scene or like colors
Anything
or like
you think represents
anything that represents like who you would be as an educator. Like, how would you describe
Your
like your character?
Yeah. You guys asked me this earlier, and so I had time to think about it. But what brings me back to in the late 90s, early 2000s was Art Attack on Yes. And it was this guy named Neil, and he did these big, messy art installations. And that's who I picture, because I love messy play, sensory play, getting dirty, getting on the ground with the kids. And that's who I envision when I come across with the kids, is just letting them take the paint and do whatever they want with it. Let them lead the play. And so that's who I envision when I think of like my characters, allowing the child to have the freedom to get messy, to explore. And I go back to Art Attack of the early 2000s.
I love that.
I love
I don't know
that.
what that is, but I love it.
You didn't know Art Attack? Okay, my mom is here and she's looking right at me because we absolutely were Art Attack kids, and we used to blow up our entire living room to make Art Attacks, and it was like it was crazy. So this guy would literally have like piles of trash or like literally any materials ever, and it was yes,
The
and it
original
was
was
like
right.
it was like bird's eye view, and you would watch him like move things around, and literally pieces of trash and boxes and all of this, and then he would make this like incredible painting or like artwork piece, something that you're like, how did he do that?
Cool.
It was, oh my god, it was the coolest thing. We used to turn our living room into Art Attacks. Yeah, my mom
gotta
loved
do
it.
it.
Yeah, you should
Arts, that's
go to your mom's house and do it there.
Recommend the mom's house.
So have you actually ever let your kids do like an art attack?
I very much have loose parts, and well, one of my favorite activities I love blocks. Any type of blocks, I have a weakness. I will pick up them at the thrift store if they're on buy and sell, doesn't matter. And one day I brought out all 10 varieties of blocks I had and just dumped them out on the floor in little piles and let the kids go for it. And that was really fun to see how they all played. And some kids brought trains in and cars and animals. Some kids built towers, but just letting them have that freedom to just do whatever they wanted with blocks. And it wasn't this one type of block. It was 10 different types of blocks. And it was hard because were mixing them up and just organizing them. But I'm like, they're going for it today. So.
Oh, make every day.
I love that. Yeah.
I'm gonna use that.
I mean, that could make some educators very uncomfortable when you mix things and you don't know how, like, you're going to have to sort those out after. Or do you? Do you have to sort them out after? Or could you turn that into a different activity?
It's a different activity. The kids were sorting and counting and planning and.
Totally. It just makes it so fun.
And being a day home, we had all day. So it
Totally. Yep.
We had a different room to nap in, so we leave the mess on the floor. We'll come back to it later.
Yeah.
But keep coming back to it throughout the day. I draw the line at leaving it out day over day, but
okay, see, I used to do that in my day home where we would clean like in the middle of the day, and then we would let them like get out whatever they were doing. And then, because a lot of the time at the end of the day, they get picked up and they get interrupted in the middle of their play and they didn't get to finish. And so there were some times where we intentionally left everything out exactly the way it was so that when they came back in the morning, they got to continue that play. And so then they felt better leaving, because I used to have criers that would leave when they got picked up, or that would cry when they got picked up. And so knowing that their stuff was safe and that it would be there in the morning and I didn't have to clean up at the end of the day, that was nice too.
mine was in my main living space. So,
that's fair. Mine was not.
yeah. Now that
I got to close the door.
I close the door, I'll be more willing to leave it. But
Yeah.
my main living.
Maybe that can be your challenge for your new place, is just shutting the door
Yeah.
and leaving it.
Yeah, I have a specific day home room in my new space.
That's so exciting.
That is very exciting. Very exciting. Anyway, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'll turn that off so it doesn't catch. Thank you. So we want to close off by just talking. So by encouraging you guys to reflect and come up with your own educator characters. So I did this exercise with my leadership team at my daycare center. So all of them have their own educator characters that they look back on. And we actually turned them into physical art pieces. So they actually have their educator character representation hanging on their wall or their office or something like that as an actual reminder. So if you guys find the opportunity and have some paint, I know you guys have paint at your centers, that maybe on a nap time or a break time that you could just maybe whip out some art supplies for yourself and come up with your educator character. Your educator character is essentially a vision board for who you want to be as an educator. And it's something that can be evolving and changing, and it can contain things that you aspire to be, but maybe you're not there yet or you're growing into. And so we just want to encourage you guys to keep that educator growing and just to really encapsulate that character and show up not for licensing. That's not why we show up. We show up for ourselves, we show up for our kids, and that's where it becomes sustainable. When it stops being performative for other people and it starts to become a part of who you are as your educator character.
Well said.
Final thoughts? Or was that a
Ditto.
All right, so that's a close on our live podcast. Thank you guys all so much for experiencing this. How exciting.
Oh my goodness, that was so much fun.
That was so cool.
I love doing that. That was amazing.
What a fun experience. We're for sure going to do something like that again because that was unreal. So we will make sure to tag Kayla in the show notes so you can follow Capable Learners Dayhome and see what she's up to. I'm super excited to see
her new space. She's opening up a new day home space. We're looking forward to seeing the space, Kayla. So you'll have to give us a little virtual tour when you've got that up and running. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching our podcast launch party live episode. This was super cool. And if you didn't come to our networking event,
Don't worry. You
There's
can
gonna
come to
be-
the next one.
there's going to be more. There's going
yeah.
to be more. And I hope to see every single person there because we're really going to make a difference for the early learning industry.
I love that.
It's going to be a good time. So
Come bring your educator character with you.
hop on board. Oh, yeah. And you guys can follow us on TikTok and you can follow us on Instagram. We are at the.educators.table. Follow
right.
us. Share with us your educator character. We want to hear from you guys. It was so cool to just experience all of the different personalities that showed up and to see everyone's educator character shine through. I think one of my favorite parts was at the end, after we did the live podcast where there was a select few people who shared their educator character with us. It was really
like personal and intimate and cool to share that about yourself to like a group of people you had maybe never met. So that was fun.
definitely. All right. Well,
That's all we have for this week. We can't wait for you to join us next Friday.